G-O-G, garden of good creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith, grow you. Create authentically in the garden of good. Give, live, and love. In a garden gonna dig big and trust. In the garden gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. Into the garden. Love, 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 love. That's what we're doing here in the Garden of Good. Love, 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 loving you. I want you to go ahead and sing it with me. It goes like this. Take the pieces of your broken heart. Take the pieces of your broken heart. Take the pieces of your broken heart and turn them into stars. Turn them into stars. Here we go. Take the pieces of my broken heart. You can say my. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into stars. Turn them into stars. You are the light, moving at the speed of light. And tonight, allow it to be alright. Everything that breaks makes you alive. You got this time, so shine your mighty light. Yes, let yourself open wide. Find the truth of you. Let the light break through, yeah. Take the pieces of your broken heart. Take the pieces of your broken heart. Sing it with me. Take the pieces of your broken heart and turn them into stars. Turn them into stars. Let's sing it one more time with my heart. And allow yourself to sing a little bit. We can't hear you, and it's really good for you to sing. To breathe deeply, allow these long stretches of vocal expression. It's so good for the heart, so good for the vibration in your body. Come on. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Oh yeah. Take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into stars. Turn them into stars. Turn them into stars. Thank you for indulging me in some heartbreak. I found this beautiful little passage from David White, who is a poet who wrote a book called The Heart Aroused. So you know I was into him just from that. He wrote, "If heartbreak is inevitable and inescapable, it might be asking us to look for it and make friends with it, to see it as our constant and instructive companion, and perhaps in the depth of its impact, as well as in its hindsight and even its own reward." Heartbreak asks us not to look for an alternative path because there is no alternative path. It is an introduction to what we love and have loved, an inescapable and often beautiful question, something and someone that has been with us all along, asking us to be ready for the ultimate letting go. The ultimate letting go. Now, I have some kind of crazy light thing going on behind my head. I know that AJ sees it. It's changing in all kinds of ways, but hopefully it's not too distracting for you. All right, so we are talking about heartbreak today in the garden. We are talking about heartbreak in the garden today, and I am going to do a very quick sort of rundown on the garden. If you've been coming here, then you know that we meet every Tuesday and that I have committed for the entire year, and it is 4 12-week sessions. So it is separated into heart, mind, body, and soul, which is the sections of my book, Make Good. And it's crazy to say this and it's crazy to know this, but you guys who have been here since day one, we're on week 7. So we are officially more than halfway through the first quarter, which I think is really, really cool. So congratulate yourself on coming back and for being a part of this process, or as you say in Canada, this process. So we're really focused on the heart for this 12 weeks. So I want you to consider again, and as I can ask you to consider each week, what is your heart's desire? We have roots and fruits in the Garden of Good. The idea is that each quarter you decide on a particular root to focus upon. For instance, mine is peace. And so for this quarter, I am particularly focused upon keeping my peace. It is a theme throughout all of the things that we do, all of the creative expressions that we do. And then the fruits is an outer goal, something that expresses your journey, something that shows you, on the outside, what will bring you more of that root. For instance, for me, I'm creating a dollhouse for my inner child, and I have 5 more weeks to go to finish it. I have a little video that I'm going to show you in a bit to show you I just made a little bit of headway on that this week. And I have introduced this idea of 4 distinct ways to create in sort of alignment with this heart, mind, body, soul. And it's just a way for you to identify yourself, to say, am I a skyweaver? Am I the kind of person that creates from my head? Am I analytical? Do I like to pull things apart in my mind? Or am I more of a stone bloom? Do I like to create with my hands? Stone blooms are the earth-based creators. Emo flow is when you are emotional and you're driven by your emotions. I'm a little bit emo flow. Cinderwick is that energy of getting after it, taking action, those action-oriented, fire-centered. I know I have at least one Leo here tonight. So very important in the garden to remember that your creative expression is divine. And we have a lot of very talented folks that come to the Garden of Good that share their art. And I want you to not compare. I want you to know that your art is your art. Can you imagine if Van Gogh compared to Picasso, or if just every bloom, even each daisy is completely different than the daisy beside it. And our little, guidelines, kindness first, just be open to the things that I'm giving you tonight. But of course it is your choice, gardener's choice. In other words, you get to do as much or as little as you want. Your camera is even optional. And I like to tell you that this is confidential, meaning get crazy, you be you, I applaud you. I especially think that since we're going into Heartbreak this week, that we sing. I invite you to sing. And I'll go through it a couple times and then we'll go ahead and spotlight Jeannie to give us a prayer, and then I'll wrap you in song again. So once you learn this sweet melody from our beloved Lisa Ferrero, open wide my heart. Simple, simple, simple chant. Breathe with me and sing if you know it. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Sing it with me. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart.
In this wide open heart space, That is the divine. That is divine goodness, divine love, divine heartbeat, divine breath. This knowing, this being, that is me. That is each and every person within the sound of my voice and beyond. Knowing this beauty and sovereign part that is God as us. I speak my word for the love, for the beauty in this law, knowing that with every heartbreak, there is heart glee, heart life, heart breath, divine beauty exploding like effervescent joy bubbles, coming forth as something new creates itself through what ends in our heartbreak. And knowing that that is just the beginning of our creative urge tonight, I say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, life, for opening wide our hearts as we are ready to receive. And for this, I am so grateful. I let it go and I call it to good. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Beautiful. Everybody breathe that in. Take a deep breath in. And sing with me again. Open wide my heart. Come on. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. One more time. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. If you don't know this song, it's a song of mine called Broken Open that fits this theme so perfectly. Scrapes, burns, twists and turns, you might call me damaged. Nicks, cuts, dips and ruts, I've been bruised and bandaged. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my scars have turned me into a piece of art. Each fear, every loss and tear, all the hard goodbyes, lows, hits, all the dirt, all the grit, all of it has made me wise. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, I feel so high, and when I'm crawling, that I want to reach out for the sky. And when I'm lonely, I can hold on to the truth that it's when I'm broken open, that's when the light comes through. Ins, outs, screams and shouts, life is complicated. This is my wild ride, hell no, I wouldn't trade it. But every love that's gone leads me to another love song, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, feel so high, and when I'm crawling, that I want to reach out for the sky. And when I'm lonely, I can hold on to the truth that it's when I'm broken open, that's when it's when I'm crying that I can friend. And when I'm dying, I could be born again. And when I'm hurting, love is my medicine. Yes, that's when I'm broken open. That's when the spirit comes in. Oh, 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 yeah. The heart breaks to make more room for love, shakes you from the inside to remind you you're alive. There's always that part wants to close up and die, but my heart heals with thick rope-like scars used to pull me to the clearing where I can see the stars. The next opportunity to try hard, embrace the dark, and love with my ever-expanding love with my ever-expanding heart. I know that you're applauding wildly out there in the ether. So this week, week 7 of Garden of Good, over halfway through our time together, I am so thrilled to be on Heartbreak. And as you know, this is based, the order of these prompts is based on my book, which is Make Good. And this is the piece of art from this week. Heartbreak. And in this little writing here, I talk about my first real big heartbreak, which was my first love. And we're going to be talking about that and other things as we talk about heartbreak. But the title of my talk this week is my tiny talk. I have a little tiny talk I do here, is The Unexpected Gifts of Heartbreak. The unexpected gifts of heartbreak. Yes, there are gifts. There are so many gifts. And I wanted to begin with this beautiful poem by a woman named Lisa McCrohan. It's called Wide Open. Let your heart break. Let it break wide open. You have lost all interest in trying to keep all the pieces together anymore. Your soul wants out. Your soul wants freedom. You have been longing to stop pushing down the lump in your throat. Let your truth be spoken. Let it be breathed. Let it flow through your body as dance, tears, or sweat without reason, analysis, or control. Let your heart break. Let it break wide open. Let it sift out what no longer serves you. Let it pull the veils off. Finally, what is here is clarity, truth, integrity, raw and messy, but real. Amen and hallelujah. So as we break wide open, we are given gifts. And the first gift of heartbreak is presence. When our hearts shatter, the mind stops its endless chatter. Yes, we become present. We become raw and vulnerable and profoundly here. Heartbreak demands authenticity. We learn to sit with our feelings instead of escape our feelings. And in that stillness, we start to develop our resilience. I couldn't help but think about Eckhart Tolle when I thought about heartbreak and pain. These things kept coming up for me this week. And Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. He says that the pain body is this energy field. It's almost like an entity that becomes temporarily lodged in your inner space. And its life, its energy becomes trapped. And it's when energy isn't flowing, that's when we get these pain bodies. That's what he calls them. And it's because certain things that have happened in the past or things that are living with you, and you identify with it as your victimhood, right? And when that victim identity is more powerful than the present moment, that's when you have this pain body. But it's the opposite of the truth, because in this very moment, you're not a victim, right? You're okay. The truth is that the power of presence is that right now, you're okay. All is well. Truly, 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 all is well. And I had this really cool experience this weekend with pain. I was I've had a crick in my neck. I've had a crick in my neck for about a week. It's been a long time that I've had this crick in my neck. I'm getting a massage on Thursday finally. But I was sitting in church on Sunday and I was singing. I was singing and, playing this piano, and I had just done a show, and this crick was just kind of getting worse. And I sat there and I said, Holy Spirit, because I've got a friend who's working on the Course in Miracles and told me that he talks to Holy Spirit. So I just say, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, can you just remove my pain? Just give me a miracle. Remove my pain, remove my pain, remove my pain, remove my pain. I was praying for my pain to be removed. And it struck me. I started to think about, I don't know what it was. It was it was when we listened to that book. Me and AJ listened to the book Demon Copperhead. If you haven't read that book, it's a fantastic book. And there's this point in the book where he is in pain. He's getting beat up or something like that, and he realizes he hears himself, or he hears somebody else say, "It's just pain. It's just pain." And I was thinking, I sat there and I thought, oh, it's just pain. Like I separated myself from my pain body. And I said, wow, is it okay if this pain is here? And I started to think and have compassion for all those people who suffer with pain all the time. There are people probably in this room right now that have constant pain, right? And so when we have pain, we have not only the opportunity to be present with it and to allow it and to let it be what it is, which is pain, but to separate from it and to not identify as pain, right? Because I am not my pain. I'm just having some pain. So that was the first gift, was presence. And in order to get through these times of heartbreak, these times of uncertainty, going, why am I in pain? Why am I going through heartbreak? There's genuinely there's always a reason, or there's always a gift, right? But we must just trust. Can you all just say that out loud? We must just trust. Nick's made it. We must just trust. So as we go through these really difficult times, we will see, as we go through our creative expressions tonight, how many gifts these heartbreaks have for us. The second gift of heartbreak is compassion. I cannot tell you how much compassion the death of my father, that heartbreak, that profound heartbreak, gave me for the world. I am so much more able to see that others have things they're going through that are unfathomable. The pain is so great that they can't show up, right? When people can't show up for you or whatnot, I learned that when I had that death. And you may have had experiences like this, where this heartbreak is so horrible that you can't show up for life, let alone for anyone else, right? So heartbreak gives you that gift of compassion. I was telling you that story of pain earlier that I had. And another gift of heartbreak is transformation. We get completely transformed from these experiences that we go through. We get completely turned into something new. Heartbreak dismantles what's old and to make way for the new. It's like the spiritual equivalent of the forest fire. Yes, it's destructive, but it's necessary for new growth. We emerge stronger. We emerge stronger. I love this quote that I found from Andrea Gibson, the poet: "Let your heart break so your spirit doesn't." I know for me, when my heart is broken and I am able to keep that spiritual opening, that spiritual awareness, that open-heartedness, that remembering of the presence of God, my spirit is still alive, even though my heart is broken. And the final gift is creativity. I mean, come on. All the great songs, all the great pieces of art. Heartbreak is universal, and it does not discriminate. It fuels creativity. So tonight, as we cut and we doodle and we sing, I want you to make sense of this through the chaos. Make sense of it through the art and the music and the storytelling, and be ignited. Let your creativity spark a healing tone for you tonight. I was just getting ready for tonight. I felt such a peace in my heart knowing that this is going to be a very healing night. And then I'll close with a little bit of humor, which Steve Martin said, a day without sunshine is like, night. And that's what heartbreak feels like. It's just dark. But guess what? It does not last forever. And when the sun does rise again, we find ourselves wiser and deeper and strangely grateful for the messy, ridiculous journey. You know, heartbreak teaches us about compassion and resilience and the art of getting back up. And it reminds us that we are still capable. We can still be capable. As long as we keep that heart open, we can still become capable. Oh my gosh, I am just seeing this, Kaz. I am so, so sorry about Phil passing. I am sending you so much love, and let tonight be a healing balm. You missed writing down gift number 3, transformation. I love you, Sherry. Okay, so now we're going to get ready. That was my little tiny talk just to tell you, just to sort of get you ready for this creative expression time together. I wanted to presence the awareness of the many, many gifts of heartbreak right out the gate. All right, so get your scissors, and I want you to grab 3 pieces of paper. One color will be the color for God, which I am going to use pink for love, for the eternal love of God. You can pick whatever you want, whatever spirit is speaking to you. This is going to be used later, so you can put that aside. And then there will be something for the background of your heart, which I picked one of these really cool fancy pieces, but you can pick whatever you want. That's going to be the background piece. You can set that aside as well. And then I picked yellow. Yellow is a theme for me tonight because yellow is the color of light. We are light beings. We are photons. We see and sense and express in light. Something really cool that I just recently read or listened to a lecture about was the fact that the universe is expanding at a faster rate than the speed of light. So if we were somehow able to get to the edge of the universe, we would not be able to make it back because we are moving slower than the universe. And why I think that is fascinating in a spiritual lesson is because we can't go back. You can never go back. You can never unbreak your heart, right? You can just piece it back together. So take your heart piece that we're going to use to create our heart. I'll show you what to do. And, lay it so it's long ways. And then fold it over once. Long to short, we'll call it. And then press it down. Then it'll be like that. And we're going to fold it over again, long to short. Press it down. So now your fold is at the bottom. And we're going to do it one more time. So it's like that. So your fold is on the right side. Stay with me. So you got it? Now, with a marker, if you like, you can draw an outline for a half of a heart and make sure that the half that is the inside of the heart is where the fold is, right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this heart and it's going to turn into 4 hearts, of course. Oops. So cutting this out. And you will see that you have 4 wonderful hearts. Look at your 4 wonderful hearts. It's funny because Jackie, when we were preparing for the Garden of Good, she was like, I don't like hearts. And then last week she said, I think I'm going to miss cutting out hearts and doing hearts when the heart section's over. So if you're loving the hearts, we have 5 more weeks of hearts. If you're over the hearts, we'll be done with the hearts soon. So this is your beautiful scrap. Look at that scrap. I would go ahead and put that scrap aside to do something with this week. That can be part of your home play. That can be part of your home play. So I'm setting my scrap aside. Now, this next part is going to be interesting because I say it is interesting. No, it's going to be interesting because I think these 4 things are the most heartbreaking things. I picked these 4 things as my biggest heartbreaks. Now, as I write mine, you can decide if you resonate with these. If you don't, I want you to write the 4 biggest heartbreaks that come to you. Now, for me, the first, love. I mean, I was wrecked. And this is what I wrote about in my Make Good book was my first heartbreak. So think about your first heartbreak, like bring it to mind. Bring that person's face to mind, bring the feeling to mind. Do it and then set it aside. Whatever that biggest first heartbreak that you had. Now, of course, we've had our heart broken a million billion times, but the second biggest heartbreak for me, and this is my own personal thing, so you might have something slightly different, but you might have something the same. For me, it was death. And for me, it was my father's death. It was sudden. My father passed suddenly, and it was horrific. He was only 67 years old, which I think is relatively young. And as I did this work today, I've already done this work twice, I could feel the heartbreak. And I invite you in. I invite you to open up right now. As you're writing this down, your second biggest or the biggest heartbreak, second, thing that comes to mind, let yourself feel it. Allow it. Don't block it out. That's what this exercise is for. The third one that came to me was my unrealized dreams. Now, I don't know what yours is, but I know everyone can relate to unrealized dreams. Maybe you wanted a child and you never had one. Maybe you wanted to be a teacher and you didn't do it. Maybe you wanted to get a Grammy. That might just be me. But whatever those unrealized dreams are, if you resonate with that, you can put that, or you can put something else that broke your fucking heart, you know? And then finally, I found this one. The reason why I wrote this final one, and I'm going to tell you the story because this might really resonate with you too. I'm reading a book. It's called A Little Life. And it's about friendship, and it's about I'm really just toward the beginning of the book. It's a very long book, but it's so well written, and the author has these turns of phrase that blow my mind. And there was a character who had an accident, and he hurt his legs. And when he went to the doctor said to him that his accident was like an insult to his legs. And if you think about that, an insult, I'm going to put insults. Insults are heartbreaking. You can probably bring to mind a couple that have stuck with you through the years, a couple things that people have said that have broken your heart, right? And I thought, wow, I have a couple that came right to mind. And I recently had this massive fight with a very good friend. We worked it out. I'm so grateful that we worked it out. But I wished I could take back those insults. I really, really wished that I could take back those things that I said because I knew she would never, ever forget that I said them, right? When you cut to the heart like that. So these are my 4. Now, your 4 might be different. But what I want you to do now is pick one. I'm going to pick my first love. And you get to pick whichever one you want, and I want you to rip it in half. Relatively gently. Rip it in half. And then turn it over. And on the back of it, I want you to write 2 gifts I'm going to write it in a different color. I'm going to write it in pink for love. 2 gifts that you received from that heartbreak. For instance, my first love taught me how strong. My first heartbreak taught me how strong I am. You know why? Just because I lived through it. I didn't think I was going to live through it, right? So you go ahead and on the back of this one, I want you to write how strong you are, or whatever that gift is. And then write your second gift, another gift. Mine is how deep I can love. Then let's put those aside. And I want you to do the same thing for the rest of your heartbreak. Rip them in half. As you're doing it, I want you to feel the heartbreak of this particular thing and then recognize the 2 gifts. Just name 2. There are so many gifts that you probably got from each one of them, but just name 2. And I'll just sing a little bit as you work. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Yeah. Take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into light. Let yourself feel it. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into light. Being insulted the way that I have has taught me to be kind. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart. Take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into light. Turn them into stars. Whew. I'm going to give you another minute of that. Look at all the gifts before you. Take the pieces of your broken heart. Take the pieces of your broken heart, yeah. Take the pieces of your broken heart and turn them into stars. Turn them into light now, yeah. Shine your light, gotta shine your light. Are we ready to move on? It looks like Dorinda's ready to move on. So now take your background.
Amy, actually, there's a question in the comments.
Okay. What if you can't come up with gifts? Maybe we could help you. I'll give you mine, and maybe how about this? Instead of putting you on the spot like this, because this is really personal, I'm going to go ahead and tell you mine, and they might help you. My first heartbreak showed me how strong I am and how deep I can love. My unrealized dreams, just 2 gifts, were kindness and humility. My unrealized dreams, hope. I can always have hope. That's something that even if there is you can't find anything, you can still hope. Another one is the insults. It showed me how sensitive I am. Sensitivity is a gift. My father's death gave me gratitude for my father. and gave me compassion. Do those things resonate with you, Lisa? Does that help at all? And if it doesn't, then write, I don't fucking know on it. And allow yourself to have pain without gifts, because that's okay too, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a bigger heart out of all these pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these big ones, like gratitude and compassion, and I'm going to put them about there on my page so that there's space. I'm going to get my glue stick out. And so that there's space, right? So I've opened my heart here. You see that? That's my open broken heart. And when you have those 2 down, next I want you to do is take another one of these positive things that have come and turn it where the long, the straight part of the heart is, to make it that center part, right? So you're kind of piecing them together. Now you can piece these together any way you want. This is the way that I found that worked today when I was doing it, when I was practicing, was I took the edges and I made them like that, right? See that? And then we're gonna keep building with it, building our heart with our broken pieces, right? You can make it any way you want. I did it this way where I turned it in. Do you see how I'm stacking them? And then the bottom, whoops, can be those pointy parts. Ooh, I love that. Except I kind of fucked up. Put this way. Kind of want to keep the positive things on the top, right? But if not, that's okay too, right? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with any of this that we're doing. This is all just showing what I meant to show here. Maybe I didn't show it that great in mine, but was how when we break open. So now I'm going to draw a bigger heart around. This is going to be what goes on our board this week. And I want you to draw a heart around that bigger heart. And then I want you to leave about 1 inch around it or 1/2 inch around it and cut it out. Take the pieces of my broken heart. The final bit of expression that we'll do for this experience is, my mother is calling me. She really has no clue. We're going to make little fringe, and as you cut, see what I'm doing? I'm just cutting about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, something like that. As you cut them, I want you to mess them up, because as you cut them, I want you to think about every insult you've given, every time your heart has broken, all of these things that have happened. Wow, you are a rich expression of life. You have been through a lot, and these jaggedy edges, these sort of messy pieces and parts of yourself, they can be beautiful. They can be a part of your beauty. Yes? Think about how many times you've had your heart broken. These little cuts. These little cuts are like the little parts and pieces that make up the absolutely gorgeous person that you are today. Maybe you struggle with addiction, or you've struggled with letting people go when it's time for it to be over, or you've experienced a lot of death in your life. All these things that, and as you do it, give yourself a little ASMR, give yourself a little, give yourself a little creative pop of expression. I cannot tell you guys how powerful this was when I did this today. I had so many tears today, So if tears do come up for you, I invite you to allow them. I had such a healing today around this work, just recognizing that, you know what? I have given out, I have received lots of insults. I have created pain for others. I have gone through so much heartbreak, so many things. But you know what? I am alive, and I am so grateful to be alive and to be aware and more compassionate, more grateful, have more humility. And if you've completed your piece like I have, I know I rush, I always go fast. I'm just going to adorn mine with some hearts because I think it'll be prettier if I add a few hearts. I always want to add hearts to my pieces or dots. However you want to make it your own. I can't wait to see what y'all have done with your own stuff here. Take your time, no rushing. Thank you, Lavis, for having me slow down a little bit. Lavis, I love your hair tonight. Looks great. You guys are the fucking bomb, you know that? This group is just, I mean, I cannot tell you how excited I am when I wake up on Tuesdays. I get this just absolute just flow of joy. And I'll make this a relatively quick little doodle for us and something that you can work on throughout the week. I always put my little, whatchamacallit, this piece here that is between the next sheet so that if my marker bleeds through, you know. All right, we're going to make a constellation of our heartbreak. And this is very much, I want you to make this your own. And the first thing I want you to do is just make a heart. And I'm doing it in yellow because we are beings of light, remember? And don't go all the way to the edge. Leave yourself some space because we are going to create with this. I would say use yellow if you can, because I think it's a cool concept that what we're doing is we're making a constellation. And with yellow, especially if you're working with marker, you can't really put yellow on top of other colors, but you can put yellow first and then put things on top of it. So what I want you to do is think about those heartbreaks one more time. And I want you to, that first heartbreak, this is my first love. That was a big one. Make that first one that comes to mind, maybe for Joellen, it's her father. That first thing that comes through, the one that creates the backpack for all of your stuff to come through. And then off shot from that, give it another one and think of that second one, which for me was my dad. Maybe there's some heartbreak from the world right now that you're sensing. Give yourself 3 or 4 offshoots from that original. You're creating a constellation of your heartbreak. Now, what I want you to do is at every point that you have, I want you to make a star. Every point that it touches each other, make a little star. Knowing that this heartbreak, take the pieces of my broken heart and turn them into stars. That's what I just did. Turned mine into stars. What I thought we could do next is I'm taking orange because the orange chakra is your creativity, which is exactly what Leva said we're doing, is we're taking this heartbreak and we're surrounding it with our creative energy. So surround your stars with that orange energy, that energy of creative expression. If you have orange, if you want to use another color to signify your creativity, you can do that. Thinking, wow, I am such a gorgeous constellation of light. Buffer page, that was the word I was looking for. love that Tiffany said she did a butterfly for that last thing. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take green and make little seeds of growth, because everything that breaks us open, just like the seed breaks open. These are the seeds of who we become, right? And the green is that heart chakra, that energy of being able to create more compassion, more love, surrounding your heart with that green energy of life, life itself, that energy of ideas. I'm going to even put some green inside my heart, between my heartbreak, dashing everything that we go through, we grow through. Yes? I'm adding some lines. You can do what you want with some green, giving this that life force. The next bit of work is I'm going to take pink and add the vibration of love. The vibration of love around my broken heart constellation. Somewhere on this, I'm going to write my heart constellation. And this is how it's spelled for those of you who are spelling challenged, like I can be at times. You know, one of the ways you can make it your own is you can add different colors on top. You know I'm pretty fast, so I go over things sometimes when we're working like this. Add another little extra layer of something to give it a little bit of depth. Maybe add a little bit more color into. And then if you know me, you know that what we're going to do is surround it in divine love, which is the purple hearts surrounding in the divine love that is holding us, that is infusing us, that is living as us, as this space that breaks open, changes, transforms. You can put purple hearts all over the place. And you guys, I really want you to send me pictures of these, post them on the Facebook. I am not seeing as much action on that Facebook. I'm going to start to pose questions, and I want you to respond to them and engage in them so that you guys can keep in touch throughout the week, which brings me to letting you know that I am going to, because I miss the garden so much when we're not here on Tuesdays, I'm going to start coming live on Facebook on Thursday nights. Give yourself the opportunity to connect with somebody. Give yourself the opportunity to give the joy of sending someone a pop of color. We all get bills and we all get, things in the mail that are just like advertisements, and it just lights my heart up when I open that mailbox and there is a handwritten note from one of you. I mean, you guys, I am starting to collect them. I don't mean to brag. I really don't mean to brag, but I'm gonna. Look at this. I mean, look at it. These are all garden grams. And this week I was experiencing that pretty bad crick in my neck, so I did very little last week. So this week I'm going to be sending out several. So hopefully you'll get one of mine. And thank you for giving to the garden. Thank you for your generous donations. The $20 to $30 is just a suggested love offering. You can give way more than that. If you have an extra bazillion dollars that you want to give me, I'll take it. If you can give nothing, then that's okay too. I just want you to be here. I want you to be here with us, experiencing this, getting the benefits of this consciousness shifting. And I thank you so much for the love offerings that have come in. And now I want to talk about one more thing before I turn it over to our last roots and fruits person. But I want to talk briefly about our affirmation cards, right? So, something that I haven't talked that much about, but that we are doing. If you are in the Garden of Good and you are doing this, it seems like there's about 20 to 35 of you that are coming almost every week. And so I am knowing that this is happening. And what the idea is that each week you make yourself an affirmation card or an oracle card or something that has to do with your root. For me, since my root is peace, it's mostly peace-based affirmations, right? So this week, for instance, I found these gloriously colored index cards. And I wrote, in the midst of great heartbreak, I am peace. So this is mine. I want you to take a moment to think, what is your affirmation this week? This week, your home play. I want you to, because we went so deep this week with the heartbreak stuff, I found these little sticky pads, sticky notes. I know you have sticky notes. I know you have them. I want you to write at least 5 love notes to yourself around the house. I love you. You're beautiful. Good job. You rock. Whatever. At least 5 promises. Yes. And if you don't have sticky notes, you can just do it with a piece of paper and then just, wedge it somewhere. At least 5 love notes. I want you to post on Facebook this week. I want to see your work, please. Thursday live, I told you I'm going to probably go live, pull cards, hang out, come see me. Your abundance jar. I wonder how that's going for you. If you're noticing that the things that you're putting in your abundance jar are coming to fruition. Are you still using it? Use it a lot. Add to it. Continue to use this. And then, of course, fruits and roots. Just be aware. I know that for me, I forget that peace is my root. And then I'm like starting to get upset about something and I go, peace is my root. Go back to peace, right? Use your roots and fruits, all right?
This is by Vince Gauman, and it's called Faith Lost and Found in Our Dying, Awakening World, a Poem for Humanity. When you lose faith in the world you have known, an ancient voice within may find your inner ear, inviting you to finally have faith in something else, the unknown you turned from and forgot many moons ago. At long last, there's an opening to that which is much, much greater, to what you've been waiting for your entire life, perhaps the only thing you can be certain of when all becomes uncertain. The still truth, the roaring lion and lioness, the creative genius, the vast kingdom you are longing to be made flesh, rooted in bone, heaven on earth. Do not deny your grief, dear one. Do not deny your rage. Give your raw humanity room to breathe during these vulnerable and uncertain times, these times of great loss. Let yourself be struck by the heartbreak of it all, for through those tear-soaked cracks, light shines, and you remember this and so much more. In losing the world, you no longer lose yourself to the world, and you remember the self you've always been, your sovereign divinity not bound to this earth, the untouchable no one can quarantine, no one can reduce, tarnish, or take away, the loving, powerful one you are and long for more than anything, your true place of belonging. Herein lies the ever-patient peace at the center of all storms, a peace which passeth all understanding. Indeed, the theater of shadows and dreams projected from the one light, its curtains close soon, the long-standing story of suffering now in its final climactic scenes, a dramatic and necessary ending to make way for a new story, a joyous one, a celebration birthed through our broken, glowing hearts.
That was so beautifully read, and what a great poem to end our night. And so I call our time good and very good. And I thank you so much for being willing to create and express and be together in community. This is my great joy right now, is the Garden of Good. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who has been a part of this evening. And please, again, post on Facebook, show me your work, send out a gardengram, post some love notes, and be very, very gentle with yourself. We did some good work tonight. I love you. Here we go. Play, pray, slay.